Okay, I have another good message for you guys from some notes I took from church. So, this message is on shame. And I'm going to start off with what guilt is. So, guilt is that feeling that you did something wrong. Okay, we all know that feeling, right? You're like, oh no, I did something wrong, right? Shame is different. Shame is knowing you did something wrong and going, I'm bad. I'm not enough. There's something wrong with me. So that's really garbage thinking. And nobody can take that from you. Nobody can take that garbage thinking away. That's your job. That's your job to change your mentality and your mindset. So the one person who can take that mentality away is Jesus Christ. And by reading your word and getting to know the Lord, hello. That's my cat, Chloe. He's going to take that away from you when you start to learn your identity in Christ. So basically, a lot of people I think humanity in general thinks we have to overperform to feel good enough. And I'm going to be the one to say that that's me. That's been me. It's something I'm working on. I always feel like I have to show you how good I can be to earn love. And then because we don't think we're good enough, we settle and we take less than we think we're worth. And when we don't know our worth, then we settle and we struggle because we don't go for what is better for us because we are worth it. But it all goes on to what we tell ourselves we're worth. And when we don't know our worth, we're always going to settle. It's always going to be less. It's just always going to be that way. And if we don't know what God says about us, that we were created by design, we can think of so many things to devalue ourselves with. We're creative by design, is what I meant to say. We were designed to be creative. So we have all these ideas of like ways to measure our value, whether it be money or a relationship or a car, like these status things. And instead of going to a creator to find out our worth, we go, oh, well, I don't have this, I don't have this, I don't have this. And we go, I guess I'm not worth that much. And we devalue ourselves. But the one thing about shame that I want you guys to know is that you can't serve God in your shame. You can't walk in your purpose when you think you aren't good enough, and that's just not true. That's not the truth. That's not how God sees you. And you got to give your shame to the Lord, and He will take it. He will take those things from you. When you get filled up with the Lord from the Lord, sometimes you have to empty yourself of things that aren't good. Like if I had a box and I needed to put some more stuff in it, but I wanted to keep the good things, like I can't fit them in there. So what am I going to do? I'm going to take out the things that aren't important to me, that aren't good, things that I don't want, to put those good things in there. Think of yourself like that. You got to get rid of the bad to fill yourself with good. And when there's good, well, then you're feeling good. But the Lord has equipped you. He has equipped you. He gave you a purpose and wouldn't give you that purpose if He didn't give you what you needed to do it. This is your assignment. So go at it. Go at it. You can't fail if you feel it in your spirit that that's what you're supposed to do. You just follow God, seek God, and He will lead you into that purpose. He has a sovereign purpose for you. If you want it, it's yours. It's totally yours, and He wants you to get it. God is just so deserving of us walking in our calling. He really is. He has given us so much, and His heart is to see all of us saved. He gives us all this time. Like, yes, we're in a crummy world, and it sucks, and we're like, God, why won't you come already? Because He wants to give everyone the time to come and get to know Him. When you get to know Him, life here is still hard, to still struggle, but there's a peace and a joy and a strength. The strength of the Lord is joy. So when you have joy, you're strong. You're like, I can go through anything. My God's got me. And we do that. And we gather with like-minded people, like-minded Christians, and we spread the word. And it's really cool what that word does to people. You never know what your message to somebody, it could be so small, is going to do for them. You have no idea. I'm sure we'll find out one day when we get to heaven. I'm sure God will be like, hey, just because you said that one thing that you thought was kind of weird or you made you so uncomfortable, you did what I wanted you to, and look what happened in that person's life. That could have gotten that ball rolling in that person's life to go, oh my gosh, I have a purpose and I'm loved. I didn't even know that. And so they seek out the love, which is the Lord, and then they find their purpose. And who knows how big their purpose is? Your purpose might have been small. Maybe that's all you ever had to do was give a small word to somebody whose purpose was so big, but they would have never known if you didn't do your job. So don't ever think your purpose is just tiny and unimportant. Everything we do is to fulfill God's plan and to give him glory. So remember this, shame is not God's thought of you. Get that out of your head. Do not succumb to shame because that's from the devil. That's the devil going, ha ha, you're not good enough. But that's a lie, and we don't believe lies that come from Satan. Gotta know the truth. The truth sets you free. So I'm going to take you back to the beginning with Adam and Eve. And so if you know the story, Adam and Eve were the first people to create a sin. They ate a fruit from the garden that the Lord said not to, for good reason. I suggest you read Genesis and find out why for yourself. But anyways, they ended up sinning, and before this they were naked. And they realized that they were naked after they ate the fruit. They didn't know they were naked before. They never felt shame. They never felt guilt. But all of a sudden, here comes shame. It's a result of the fall. It's a result of sin. So they're like, oh my gosh, I'm naked. And they had to sew together fig leaves to cover themselves. And in doing that, not only were they covering their shame from the Lord and hiding from him, they were covering their shame from each other. And when you're married to your partner and hiding in your shame, and this was revelation, what's the word? It was just a revelation to me when I was sitting there at church, and I was like, wow, not only did they hide from God, but they were in collusion together, hiding their shame from the Lord and themselves. And where they were naked and they fully knew each other, now they were like, oh my gosh, I have this feeling of shame, and I don't want you to know it. You're my partner, but I still don't want to expose myself to you. Those terrible feelings that they had, which I can't imagine what that might have felt like coming from complete perfection and walking in the garden. It must have been devastating. And so they hid themselves, and it basically says, if you only knew me, you wouldn't like me. So we hide those things. We hide those things we're ashamed of. We all have them. I have them. There's things I would not tell a soul. But then when we hide from the Lord or from our partner or from anyone in any relationship, this can go any way. I mean, not saying that you have to expose yourself to everybody, but your important relationships, you should be able to have some level of trust where you can be honest and have intimacy. So intimacy is into me see. No hiding, that's vulnerability. And vulnerability is love. Being vulnerable and opening up your heart to people because they gotta see who you are. You can't love somebody that you don't know, really. I mean, you can love an idea of what they put out there, but eventually your true self is gonna shine through. So we have to be vulnerable, and it's okay. It's okay to have those hurts and those pains. We all have them, and if we don't share them and expose them, God says all things will be exposed. All things in darkness will be brought to the light. So all these shames need to be brought to the light, because then we just carry them. We carry them forever, and that's heavy. That is so heavy. And God says, my burden is light. My burden is light. Give these things to me. I will carry them for you, and I will get rid of them. I ain't going to hold on to them. I'm going to take them from you, and you won't get them back when your eyes are on me. It's just the truth. I can testify from it. When I walk away from the Lord and I go, oh my gosh, I have so many things going on. How am I going to make it? I don't know. I'm so scared, and I'm not trusting him. Those things start to come back, and I've walked through it here and there, come and go, those feelings. But right now, I've had a really good revelation of who the Lord is to me, better than I've ever had before, and I've experienced the peace and the love so intently that I gotta remember these things when things start to look scary. But back to the message. So take away your coverings in relationship and trust God and trust others that they won't use them to hurt you. So it was just a really interesting thing to hear that Adam and Eve were in collusion in their shame, and they were hiding from the Lord, and they were in collusion with the devil. They believed the devil and his lies. And so we do these things. We're in collusion to hide our shame, to protect ourselves. We have secrets to protect ourselves from thinking, we're not good enough. And no one can make up for your weakness. Codependency is something that comes into place with some people too, and I'm guilty of it. I've been there. I'm working on it. I have had this time to seek the Lord, and it's been amazing. I've just been content with myself, and I know myself a lot better now, and I don't feel like I have to rely on somebody to make me happy. I know I can be happy just as I am, being Amanda, and knowing that the Lord loves me. So sometimes those things happen too, where when you don't know your worth, you seek your identity and your approval from somewhere else, and that's never going to give you that 100% fullness that you need. So I suggest, as a Christian and as someone who loves you guys, and I'm speaking out of a place of love, not only because I want to, but that's because Jesus made me want to. He loves you, and he's using me to talk to you and ask you guys to do this, to seek the Lord and be like, here's my shame. Give it to him, because he's got something for you to do. He's got something for you to do, and it's not ever going to be something that you can't do, because it's for you. It's not for anyone else. He needs you. You're part of the puzzle. You're part of this plan, and he wants to see you do that for him. And he's going to be so proud of you. He loves you, and he's proud of you. So just do that. Do that. You're going to be so happy, I swear. But Adam and Eve, there's a lot in the beginning. There really is a lot in the beginning. Genesis is one of my favorites. And if you can open up your heart to the Lord to have him reveal stuff to you, there's a lot in that book. Oh my. So I invite you guys to search yourself. Search your heart. Are you hiding from God? He's for you. You don't have to hide anymore.